Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining. My name is Aiko and happy Halloween. By the way, I'm part of the marketing and business development team at RMC. We'd like to thank you all for joining the Roadmap Consulting CMMC compliance webinar. Now, let's go ahead and dive into a short background about RMC. So in RMC, we have a holistic approach in terms of what we do here as a company. We'd like to say it's anything involving federal government contracting. And to your desire to win business in the federal sector, we can assist you with that. In addition to our SBA and GSA services, we provide individual management consulting support. So for anything you might have regarding your federal government contracts, if you have a requirement that we can sit together and work on, we'd love to do that with you as well. So we also provide industry certifications through one of our strategic partnerships for ISO certification and CMMC compliance. We work with these strategic partners like attorneys and CPA firms that can assist you with any requirements that you might have in those areas. So we'll introduce you to those firms and we stay involved with you throughout the process to make sure that things are going well. So we try, as in this slide, we try to provide that one-stop shop approach with whatever requirements that you may have regarding federal government contracts. We can definitely be of service to you. Now, I wanted to briefly introduce you to our main speaker for the day, Mr. Robert Jasper. Robert is a professional ISO management system consultant in information security and cybersecurity auditor. He offers ITAR auditor and compliance advisory services. So Robert is also an experienced ISO 9001 auditor, consultant, and trainer as well. And now, without further ado, a few words from our speaker, Mr. Robert Jasper. Take it away, sir.
Yeah, Julie, thank you. And to all participants, thank you for joining this webinar here about CMMC updates. And I think we have also a question and answer section planned on the end for your individual questions. Yeah, and to walk you through what's going on the cybersecurity certification ecosystem and how it can benefit you and how you could get certified and what's going on and all that. Yeah. So thanks for having me. Maybe just a short introduction of myself here. I'm doing this for Roadmap Consulting already a couple of years, helped several clients to get certified to whether it's information security or cybersecurity standards or also quality management standards, whether it's NIST, whether it's ISO or CMMC. Very often these standards, they overlap in their requirements. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing this like 20 years now. Started out working with Lockheed on a project here for the defense sector, and then became a certified lead auditor and consultant and trainer. And located mostly in the New Jersey area. They're in New York, New Jersey. But we have clients all over, yeah, whether it's in Washington or California, but also overseas. So there is no limit. And yeah, that's my background. You know, mostly we help companies and organizations to get compliant with their management systems for cybersecurity or information security. All right, Julie, can you go to the next slide, please? So what we want to show you over the next, I think like roughly 15 to 20 minutes to give you a rough overview here, what's going on with the CMMC certification. Do I need it? When do I need it? Or Do I not need it now yet? What are the benefits? Which kind of different levels we're talking about here? What's the timeline, the expectations? And also, what could be a potential roadmap for getting certified? And of course, we are there with any kind of services like gap assessments or giving you a first insight on a little more detailed insight of what can be done. All right, Julie, please, next slide. Yeah, so benefits. Yeah, we wanted to do also, by the way, a question and answers maybe at the end of the session here. So if you just want to hold on to your questions till the end, we are certainly then we can discuss them. No problem. So having cybersecurity certification, yeah, it's a kind of a no-brainer. Meanwhile, not only your enhanced security posture, we all know what's going on and what's happening on a daily basis if we look into the news. So having a solid and proven cybersecurity management system, which really, has certain security activities involved, which really helps you to have a good security posture, hygiene. Yeah, it's not only mandatory, but if you want to survive in the business, right, there is no way around anymore. And it's not only to have, cybersecurity and insurance with a high cap that you can survive any ransom attack, but just having a good incident response plan, yeah, and regular security assessments. It just belongs, meanwhile. I'm sure you all agree to management systems, meanwhile, yeah, to a management system. So a competitive advantage, of course, if you're kind of certified to a standard which is recognized in the industry or by the government, whether it's CMMC, whether it's that you're NIST compliant or ISO 27 compliant, it's of course can be a competitive advantage. Yeah, it increases customer trust and sets you up very good for the future. Yeah, you have reduced risks of cyber attacks. Yeah, and you're setting yourself up for the future, as I said here, with a potential future compliance for any requirements by the U.S. government. If you look in your contracts, and that's what it's all about, and you have some CMMC requirements inside there or NIST requirements, then you better get going on that. Yeah. So as of now, as we speak, CMMC, just to be clear on that, is only required for the DIP, which is the Defense Industrial Base. So for contractors for the DoD. Yeah, but it's already clear that after the rollout of CMMC, which mostly starts at the beginning of next year, I can tell you that if it's going to be successful and it's gonna be addressed also with all government contractors over the next year. So you're absolutely well positioned now to start to implement cybersecurity, information security measurements in your management systems because of these benefits here. Yeah. Okay. By the way, this presentations you will get also afterwards. Yeah. So currently we have a CMMC 2.0 version, and cybersecurity maturity model certification is called out in so-called DFARS, yeah, the Defense Federal Acquisition Regulation System. And if you look into your contract, yeah, if you are a contractor to the government, look into your contracts. If you see something like that, it says NIST SP 800-171, which are all the cybersecurity requirements from the NIST standard, which are required from the government to be implemented. Or you see something like DFARS 2019, yeah, D041 or D018, yeah, then you have certainly CMMC requirements, yeah, and that can be level 1, level 2, and level 3. So that needs then to be, more in more detail. Go ahead and discuss that with your POC, your point of contact at the government. What exactly is there required for you? So please look into your contracts as soon as you see something, list requirements or CMMC or DFARS, yeah, 7021 or things like that. Then you need to go ahead and clarify what is exactly, which level is required for you, yeah. Depends on your confidentiality level. And yeah, that's my message here for this slide. Can we go to the next slide, Julie, please? All right, so here there are these three different levels. Level 1 is mostly a basic Federal Acquisition Regulation requirement for 15 requirements covered with 17 practices, yeah, like access control, document access control, yeah, information security, document access control. These are kind of these practices. So we have 17 of them. And so this is mostly all what is level 1 about, and it's covered the sensitive data types. You see this here on the right side is FCI, which is a federal contractual information. Yeah, contractual information, which is everything between you, your organization, your company, and the government, all your contractual information, from your accounting information to project information and so on. Level 2, just to round that up here, is everything on top of that, but also if you have then some sensitive data in terms of drawings, project data, details for specifications for projects, for products and things like that. All right. So that's all level 2. And level 3 is actually mostly for OEMs, for bigger companies, especially in the defense sector like Boeing or Lockheed. And they have a specific certification set up then. But mostly you get, if you're no contractor here, you get the level 1 or level 2. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Level 3 is really, they even don't know exactly what are the exact certification requirements for level 3. So don't bother with that. Level 1, level 2, that's what we're talking about. Basic cybersecurity hygiene, and level 2, everything what is then, more detailed, what needs to be protected, like ITAR or drawings and things like that. All right. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. As I say, we just give you a little bit of an overview here. Yeah, so CUI, let's talk about that. What is CUI? You hear that all the time in the news, but CUI stays basically for controlled unclassified information. Yeah. So it's basically data created on behalf of a contract, yeah, like as I said, like drawings, technical reports, design analysis, plans, yeah, IP addresses, yeah, engineering data, and so on. Yeah. So not only your contractual accounting information and so on, but really in detail, what's the project all about, what is required from you as a contractor when you serve the government. And that's what the government wants to have protected. As I say, as of now, it's only in the defense sector for the Department of Defense, for defense contractors, but it's going to roll out pretty soon also for all other contractors. And it takes time anyway to implement certain information and cybersecurity management system activities and measurements to protect your systems. Yeah. So it easily can take up to 6 to 12 months to have everything in place. And, as I said, it creates you competitive advantage if you're already one of the first who can actually upload your score to the government systems how compliant you are already, right? Okay, let's go to the next slide. So as I said, yeah, so this level 2, what we're talking about here, this is the NIST SP 800-171. These are requirements for information and cybersecurity. We have 110 practices here to cover, and that's what the CMMC accreditation body, basically, they have these third-party organizations accredited to certify organizations and companies on these 110 practices. Yeah, so they come to your organization and make a very thorough evaluation whether you comply to these 110 NIST SP 800-171 certification requirements. If you go to the NIST website and look up 800-171, you find exactly as a guideline for these 110 requirements. You can create a self-assessment on that. And of course we can help you also with that. Yeah, that's what we usually do. And you see where you stand, which kind of remediation activities you still need. Level 3, as I said, this is a little bit more for the OEMs. And level 1 is a basic cybersecurity hygiene. Yeah, what every company should have in place anyway already. You can do also an annual self-assessment on that. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so who needs CMMC certification? As I said, for now, it's just for Department of Defense contractors. Primes, they have to make the flow down to the subcontractors, yeah, and they certainly are doing this in this moment. There are several clients where we are currently helping to become compliant to this 110 NIST requirements. So they actually have to upload then their score, how much they already have these 110 requirements in place, and how many of them still left and will be remediated then over time. Yeah, and this is gonna, as I say, it's gonna come for all other government contractors in the near future. So you're absolutely on the right track. All right, and it will include also the service providers which then are serving subcontractors or primes like cloud-based services, website services. So they have to be all included in that. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so how do I get certified? Yeah, first step would be to do a short, a self-assessment on these 110 requirements for level 2 before you can call a so-called certified third-party assessment organization. They're called C3 PAOs. Yeah, and they're authorized by the CMMC accreditation body to perform these certification assessments. Yeah, so if you have a self-assessment done with Roadmap Consulting, for example, and we see that you have 85 of these 110 requirements already implemented, and you're missing out on 20 of them, we give you develop a remediation plan for you and help you to, write a couple of additional procedures. It depends what you're actually, where you're missing out, and make your system solid on all 110 requirements, because unfortunately, it's not something like that you can skip. Before you call in a CMMC accreditation certified body for your certification audit with the CMMC, you actually really have to have all 110 in place. Yeah, and there's on the official CMMC cyber accreditation body website. There's a list of the authorized C3 accreditation bodies. Yeah. All right. This process is going on right now, and there are not enough accreditation certification bodies and auditors available for all the defense industrial base, and certainly not for all others as government contractors. So there's already a waiting line, and that's gonna go on. So the earlier the better. Yeah, early bird catch the worm, right? That's our message to you. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so here you see, typical for level one, these domains, these activities, what you have to have implemented, like access control, whether this is electronic information security, access control, but also physical control of your facilities, physical protection. Audit and accountability, you have to be able that you have current all the time audit logs of, what's going on, that you see whether there are some inconsistencies or some incidents happening, irregularities. So there are some requirements around that. You have to have awareness and training for your staff in terms of cybersecurity in place. You have to show that you did that. You have to show records for that. Configuration management is a pretty new one, a requirement. Whatever you plan, whether even if you don't design any software, you still watch the systems you have in place. You have that somehow lined up in a configuration management plan. Which version do you run of these and these applications, and also change management is involved in that. They want to just see that for control. Yeah, authentication, authentication. That's very important. Yeah, we have so-called need to know principle. Yeah, only people who really need to know certain data should be authorized to get access to data and all that. There are a lot of requirements inside there. Incident response, if you have a cybersecurity incident or also any kind of different incident, you have to have a kind of a process in place for that. Maintenance of your cybersecurity management system, media protection. Yeah, there are certain labeling requirements involved. As I say, I just want to give you a short overview here. Personal security, of course, physical protection, personal security. If somebody gets a new hire, what they needs to know during the employment, and also when somebody gets removed from a job, there are certain requirements for that. Physical protection, as I said, risk assessment is very important. Yeah, you have to know your threats, and the security assessment. Mostly, you have to have a security plan in place where your network is very clearly defined. Communications protections and also system and information integrity is very important. Yeah, these confidentiality, integrity, and availability. These are the three diamonds which you really have in the triangle, what you have to cover in cybersecurity, information security. All right, let's go to the next slide. Yeah, as I say, level one, you should definitely perform a self-assessment, you know. We can provide with this service, also we can provide some checklists on that, you know, and you see where you stand now, yeah, on these 17 practices. And if you have some level two requirements in your contracts, or you want to go for level two, which is mostly required anyway over the next years, that you have NIST SP 800 171 with these 110 practices in these 14 domains, that you have that included to really protect CUI, yeah, controlled unclassified information. You should really do a good a gap assessment and fill the gaps with the remediation plan, so that third-party assessment organization can come and you could do a certification audit. All right. As I say, level three, they're still actually sorting it out, how this is going to, how OEMs has to be evaluated. So that's a specific thing. If you have questions on that, please give us a call afterwards. Next slide, Julie, please. Yeah, as I say, readiness assessment, the gap assessment is the best what you can do to see where you stand. Remediation activities, and after that, if they are closed out, then you can start to talk, communicate with these third-party certification bodies, yeah, which can do a certification audit. How much does that cost? Depends always, of course, on the size of your organization or company. And if you have the certification, definitely is going to be one of these points where there is a differentiator. If you're in a tender, in a bidding process for a project, it definitely will give you the edge. Yeah, I can tell you that. And hopefully will lead also to additional contract. All right. What do we have? Do we have something left, Julie? Yeah, the timeline. I think that's one of the last slides here. Um, so they started everything here to roll out in 2023. Then the rulemaking has been done this year, and it's already in the FARs, in the DFARs. You can see it in the governmental regulational text already in the official Gov websites. And in quarter one, they are going to roll it out for the defense sector. So basically, what it means is that if you are contracted to the DoD and you're not fulfilling the certification requirements with these NIST standards, if you have level two, you are not going to be considered for a bidding contract, and you're going to lose your existing contract. So very, very strict. And that's gonna come also for other governmental contractors here over the next year. So as I said, you are very, very well positioned here to start all this process. Roadmap Consulting, we are kind of a team here for lead auditors and consultants who serve our client base. And new clients to hold either gap assessments. I think we have that, Julie, we have that on the next slide here. Exactly.
Yeah. You can see the booking link to your free consultation up on your screen, so everyone can secure their slot for the free consultation. If you have further questions, it's best to go ahead and secure your spot so we can personally answer them in your meeting with Robert. We also have posted the link to our social media platforms. Feel free to follow us to receive updates on our upcoming events and federal updates as well. We have a few questions from the chat. In order of appearance, we have from Mr. Keith. So for the self-assessment, to still complete a form internal assessment documented as part process of that we submit for level one to accreditation body, and then get formally stamped as level one certified upon review or approval? Or do we simply make sure we abide with the controls and can answer to it if asked upon by the DoD or Prime? Robert?
Would you repeat the question, please? Sorry.
You can see it in the chat feature, but for repeating, for Mr. Robertson asked for the
Oh,
self-assessment.
got you.
Yeah.
Which,
Do they
oh,
still?
yeah, for the self-assessment to still complete a formal internal assessment document as part of process that we submit for level to the accreditation and then get formally stamped as level one certified upon review approval. Or do we simply make sure we abide by the controls and can answer to it if asked upon by the DoD? I am not sure whether I 100% understand the question. So basically, self-assessment can be done at any time. Yeah. Um, it's definitely it's level one is just a basic hygiene with these 17 practices. Yeah. So obviously you're talking about level one here. So there are several options what you know for what you have available here for the level one. It all depends a little bit what you have going on in your contractual agreements. Yeah. Um, this is, for level one so far, there's just an annual self-assessment kind of required. Yeah, I don't want to say it's voluntarily, but there are certain ways which you can actually, where you can support that with a kind of we can get you some information on that, how you actually can achieve a certain kind of let's call it a certification level on that, but it's mostly self-assessment based. Yeah, I'm not sure how you. What's the second question? Or do we simply make sure we abide with the controls and can answer to it if asked about? Yeah, that will be basically the case. That obviously it should be always a thorough evaluation, and if you tell the DoD or the Prime, hey, our self-assessment shows that we are compliant to the 17 practices for level one, then you better are. Yeah. Of course, any prime could send you also an auditor in a week after and say, hey, if you don't have anything to fear, can we have a short audit? You better have your ducks lined up here, and then yeah, then it should be all fine, right? Okay. I
Okay.
hope.
Um, Sorry. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Robert.
I just want to say, for a more detailed look into your case, then, this is very general information what we are providing here because it's just not possible to delve into the details. There were a lot of factors which can play in how certification status or compliance status can be achieved here. Yeah, I'm sure you all understand that, and that will be all part, and let's say, of the free consultation where we could send out. We have a kind of a Julie, right? We have this. We have a kind of a roll-in form where you give us some upfront information about your intentions and your current status of implementation, and what you have in place and which contractual requirements you have. And then in the free consultation session, then it gets more clear on everything. Yeah, I hope this is okay for everybody. What was the next question?
We have a question from the registration page that we have. So they said that they would like to understand the gap from FedRAMP moderate to CMMC level 2.
Oh, okay. I mean, um, FedRAMP is, let's say, it's really the biggest. We didn't have that on the slide because we knew that mostly our participants here are not from the defense sector. So yeah, I mean, if you have FedRAMP requirements in place in your contracts, then you not have to have only to comply to CMMC, which includes then NIST 800-171, but you have also other requirements to fulfill. Yeah, you have to, mostly then ITAR comes into play and some other compliance artifacts. FedRAMP is really the biggest kid on the block here. And there are certain, differences to just CMMC. Yeah, if we talk about your service cloud providers, yeah, they have to have certain FedRAMP requirements in order to be actually compliant. That helps you to create your own compliance, yeah. But as I said, there are a lot of ramifications involved, and also whether it's when we talk about, let's say, just to give you an example, just if we talk about Microsoft, yeah, using of the Microsoft platform. If you have FedRAMP requirements, then there are certain, and you are for DoD, a contractor for DoD, you have to have a so-called Microsoft 365, which is FedRAMP compliant, yeah, GGC high, and these kind of things. So it really needs to be evaluated then by the organization, by the company, ramifications itself, where the exact differences between, in your case, between the FedRAMP requirements and the CMMC requirements are. And we have a kind of a comparison table between, CMMC on the one side, the other side, FedRAMP requirements. Feel free to shoot us an email. We can send you this, comparison table.
All right. For those who are asking for the price, the cost will really depend on your specific requirements and the scope of tasks. So for us to provide an accurate estimates, we do recommend scheduling the free consultation with us, where in this session we'll discuss the details to better understand your needs and, of course, tailor a solution that would fit specifically for your business. So,
Yeah.
any other last questions before we go from the audience? Okay. It looks like there aren't any questions. So I just wanted to thank everyone for attending and direct the attention to the chat feature one more time so that we can all take into account the link for the free consultation. If you want to view the presentation once more, it'll be sent out to each of the participants and registrants and available on our YouTube channel. So again, thank you all for attending, and we hope to hear from you soon. Take care.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.